Hello, welcome back to another episode, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Yesterday, yeah, it would be yesterday for you. Last episode, we spent the entire series, or the entire hour episode, in this tavern talking to people. And we continue talking to people because we still have a little bit more talking to do. This would be Sea Dog VA's just like worst nightmare. He would actually be screaming. Alright, let's see what we got here going on. Alright. The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty, lightless windows make it clear to all Hang on. Ooh, I got some burpees. Clear that all inside is dead. Wow. There's a lot to take in there. Oh, it's you. Good work back in there, in the Grey Garrison. The name's stalled in vain. If you've heard rumors about me, his face looks like it's never known anything as carefree as a smile grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me, it's true. I need to talk to the elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? The Storyteller, Stalton strokes his beard in thought. A strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours, talking about all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort. He just listened. At first I wanted him and his questions as far from me as possible, but I later realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he is alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble too, so he's not alone in the city. Oh, so if he's alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know the place he might be. Look for him in the Black Wing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on the map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. What do people say about you? They say I'm a traitor. As bad as Arilu Vorlish. I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. That Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. That I belong on the gallows. Arilu Vorlish. I think we've read about this. This is the Sarkonian witch who initiated the opening of the World Wound, and later its expansion. Almost nothing is known about her life before the atrocity, except that Vorlish was condemned for using arcane magic, which was persecuted in Sarkoris, and imprisoned in the Tower of the Threshold near the city of Iz. This is where Arilu Vorlish conducted the ritual that paved the way for the demonic invasion, and left her land to be tormented by the demon lord Discari. By some mysterious means, the witch transformed herself, changing from an ordinary human into a half-demon. Over the following century, Crusaders encountered Arilu Vorlish in the results of her they encountered her or the results of her experiments a few times, but they learned nothing more of this Discari's henchwoman. She holds a high position in the ranks of the Army of the Abyss, and bears the titled Architect of the World Wound. The Condemned. The Condemned is a military unit made up of petty criminals conscripted as disposable soldiers and frontline fodder for the Mendevian Crusades. Well, that's not a great group to be with. Queen Galfrey. I think we've read about her. I don't think we read the full thing. Queen Galfrey is the absolute monarch of the Crusader state Mendev and leader of the Mendevian Crusades. While today the name of the Crusader Queen is known throughout the Inner Sea region, it's easy to forget that Galfrey did not start her rule of Mendev as a paladin of Iomade, but rather of Erodin. When the World Wound opened and forever changed Mendev, Galfrey was still an untested young ruler who was forced to deal with the death of her god while simultaneously rallying her nation against the abyssal threat to the west. She rose to the challenge, however, and her leadership was instrumental over the next several years, not only in protecting Mendev from demonic invasion, but also in holding the border against the World Wound. When the Church of Iomade organized the First Crusade, it joined forces with Mendev to push back the demon armies. During these battles, Galfrey time and time again distinguished herself with a keen grasp of tactics and skilled at leadership, but this inspiration went both ways. In the Church of Iomade, Galfrey found something to replace her lost faith. By the time the First Crusade ended, with the apparent defeat of the... Oh no. By the time the First Crusade ended with the apparent defeat of the demonic armies, Galfrey had converted and become a worshipper of Iomedae, and completely retrained herself as one of the Inheritor's most devout paladins. Eager to retain such valuable leader at the head of the Crusades, the Church of Iomedae twice purchased and presented the Queen the rare and expensive Sun Orchid. That's how you say that word. The expensive Sun Orchid elixir, which extends mortal life beyond its usual span. Thanks to this boon, the Queen has lived and led the Crusades for more than a century. Why do they hate you so much? You really don't know? I'm the reason why the Crusade forces are holed up in the fortresses on the edge of the World Wound, instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the Wound, the mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it, until it fell, all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I had done. And so that's how I lived, decade after decade, fighting in the condemned. As you can see, I have fixed nothing, and I've earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit on my face too? It wouldn't surprise me. I hope you earn forgiveness. You keep living and fighting with no hope for anything better. That's because the Queen orders you to do. You keep fighting. You keep living and fighting with no hope of anything better because that's what the Queen ordered you to do. There's honor to that. You're given the chance to live, so live. Stop blaming others. Definitely not that, because I'm not chaotic. I should probably choose one of the lawful options. I'm too good right now. I need to be a little lawful. You keep living and fighting with no hope of anything better, because that's what the Queen ordered you to do. There's honor in that. Maybe right, but you know, even stone and iron get worn down over time. I know what it means to live a regimented life, but I cannot rely on my discipline alone forever. I pray to Torag, though he does not listen, that my body breaks before my conscience does. Also known as the Father of Creation, a stoic and serious dwarven god of the forge, protection, and strategy, who values honor, planning, and well-made steel. He's an often distant deity, lending magical power to his clerics, but leaving his followers to make their own way through life, knowing that this will make them strong and determined. A whole city fell because of you. How is that possible? What do you mean, how? If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask somebody else, like my little brother Jordan. And if you still don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1000th time, don't. So many years in the condemned. Surely you've paid your penance by now. That's not up for me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands. The condemned isn't the worst part of it. All these years I've prayed to Torag for forgiveness. Countless times I've gone to his priests. Countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the Father of Dwarven kind would listen to my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I'm still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own god doesn't think I deserve redemption? I really don't have any friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I were completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters of the condemned console themselves by thinking, I've got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. Commander Tirablade seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. No surprise that she's the only one to hold on to her sense of reason in this farce. Alright. Alright, so we got a new quest thing. We're getting close here. We need to talk to you. Any success? How's the city? There's a chiefling tied up in the Defender's Heart. What can you tell me about him? Woljif is a petty thief from a gang of tieflings operating in Canabras. That's what we call them in these parts. The They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them. The rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from Defender's Heart, but that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? If you want to recruit... squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off our guard's hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful. You should you decide to take him along. Ooh. I gotta keep drinking some water or my throat's gonna go out. All this talking. Okay, so I can take Woljif, is what she's saying. He's a petty thief. Doesn't seem... They called him... I think she actually literally called him mid. Where was it? Whatever. What's our main objective? You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the Wardstone and blow up the whole barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabras, but every city in the city with a Wardstone would be destroyed, including the capital. We cannot allow that, no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Iomede's gift must not become a weapon of the Abyss. These Wardstones, what are they? They're our greatest treasure. The shield given to us by Iomede herself, and placed in Canabras and other Mendevian cities and fortresses by her herald. The chain of Wardstones forms a protective barrier that stops the expansion of the World Wound and keeps the demons from moving beyond its borders. I shudder to think what would happen if the barrier falls. Allow me to ask a few personal questions. Please, but I must warn you, there are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Where are you from? I was born in Canabras. I grew up in a farm just outside of it. But my way back home lay at the end of a long and winding road. It took me many years of traveling through foreign lands before I came to be where I've always belonged. How did you become a paladin? I don't remember. I don't much like to remember it, believe it or not. The story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I failed to become a knight. My parents were crusaders. May their souls stand in Iomede's celestial army. But when I was born, they retired from the war and started preparing me to become their legacy. But my father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, more pious servant of the goddess than he. But still, all his life he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older and it was time for me to serve, I decided anywhere but Canabras. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters, led by the honorable prelate Hurin, stalked the city with heavy hand. Who knows what they'd have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to... You can laugh if you want. But I was young and foolish. I chose Last Wall of all places. You can imagine how well I was accepted in a country that had been battling the orcs of Belkzen since its foundation. Okay, so hold up. We know Prelate Holrun, the Mendevian witch hunts. We know a bit about this. The Mendevian witch hunts were instated by Prelate Holrun. Let's go and read it. 1 second. During the First Crusade, holy warriors streamed into Mendev, where they encountered Salkorians practicing their unique druidic faith. The Crusaders mistook the wooden idols and rustic rituals of for evidence of demonic influence. Groups of witch hunters emerged from the disorganized chaos of the First Crusade. These witch hunters were often self-stylized, their tactics little more than brutal trial and error. The least bit of evidence could mark a target for investigation. A club foot, a thick accent, or even a suspicious absence of abnormalities. The witch hunter groups gained reputations for being cruel and arbitrary, although these weren't always deserved. Demons ranged freely across the World Wound and often spilled into Mendev. Demonic possession did happen, though not nearly as often as the witch hunters claimed. Genuine witch hunters use divination magic and cautiously investigated to draw out and destroy fiends, but they were rare compared to the zealous inquisitors who burned innocents at the stake. With the advent of the Fourth Crusade, authorities took strong measures to end the bloody witch hunts of Mendev. Since then, the frequency of hunts has dropped considerably. Belkazin, Horde of Belkazin, while orcs can be found throughout Galarian, nowhere else are they as plentiful or live in as densely populated settlements as the Horde of Belkazin. Belkazin is an unforgiving wasteland filled with shrub brush, steep mountains, and uneven badlands, where water is scarce and generally limited to the seasonal flood road. Interesting. There were many there like me, but we were all treated as second-class citizens. To the locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the goddess granted me the power of a paladin. But even then, not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realized the simple truth. I serve Iomade, not these people. I don't have to prostrate myself before them, so I left. As a paladin, but not a knight. Oh boy. It's probably hard for you as a human to imagine what it's like, but what it's like when the very color of your skin and the things in your mouth make people in the street turn on their heel to avoid you. I mean no offense, of course. How did you come to join a knightly order? I left the last wall and went traveling. The goddess guided me, and my path led me to where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. I wandered the river kingdoms for a few years, killing monsters and tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting time, that my true place was Kenabras, but I pushed those thoughts away. I never even wanted to think about going back. But in the end, divine providence has brought me back to my senses. River Kingdoms, I'm too lazy. Here, if you want to read this, pause. Okay, good enough. It happened in Taiban. I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my employers suspected was cover for Razmaran spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside I found something far more dangerous than spies. An unholy temple to Zon Kuthon. Didi Zon Kuthon, known as the Midnight Lord, the Dark Prince, the Prince of Pain. Let's see. God of Darkness, Envy, Loss, and Pain, possesses one of the most twisted and evil minds in the Great Beyond. His position as God of Pain, his position as God of Pain is well earned, and he has been the root of countless tortures, murders, and worse throughout time. He was once a benevolent demigod named Dowbrow. I don't know. But corrupted ever since he traveled to the far dark spaces between the planes and returned in his current form. His half-sister, Sheelin, still holds out hope that she can redeem him, though the Lord of Shadows shows no signs of remorse or compassion. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone, the person who is destined to become my wife, Anevia. But that's another story. After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers and couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cultists has spread throughout all of Avestan, including Mindev. Worse, the documents clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, had infested my native Kenabras and were even among the ranks of the Paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would be tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone. Anevia was as eager to destroy the cultists as I was. Anevia and I hurried to Kenabras. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved, she knew her way around working locks, tailing people, and trading information in the city's bottom feeders. Soon we defeated, alas, not a whole hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch. Can you imagine? While Prelate Huron was chasing witches throughout the city, the enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for its internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first she planned to disband the order in disgrace, but then she offered its command to me, and put its salvation in my hands. Of course, there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight, but there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight, but I was made commander just the same, skipping the usual progression through the ranks. I can't imagine the followers of Zon Kuthon in alliance with demon worshippers. Wouldn't they hate each other? I got this because of a religion lore check. They should, but Baphomet's minions are masters of deception. They manipulated Zon Kuthon's butchers as eagerly as Iomede's knights. The cultists from that unholy temple didn't know the true face of their associates in Canabras. We ourselves learned the truth much later, after getting to the bottom of their nest. How did the people of Canabras feel about your background? They tolerated it surprisingly well. I shouldn't have been so wary. Crusaders don't tend to be prejudiced as a rule. After all, heroes from all over the world, even from other continents, come here to fight the demons. Apparently the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs, where there were already many like me here, and we don't have any problems. Although the locals do have their superstition. Mindev is as merciless as Last Wall. They just have a different set of victims. I keep seeing the same sideways looks and scowls, hearing familiar whispers, but where once they used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. So it's strange to be on the other side of humiliation, to wipe the spit from your face and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. You must have figured out by now, but I'm talking about tieflings. It's true that there are many of them among the cultists, and few among our crusaders, and our fighters do all they can to drive out those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them Rillu's spawn, or worse, as if they chose to be born like that. I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as an enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Alas, I haven't been able to change this in all my time in Canabras. Tell me about your wife. We met in Timon as I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. We wandered to Canabras together to expose the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. We've already been through this. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. The first was the day of our wedding. But Anevia isn't just my beloved, she's my staunchest ally, and we share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then. The day Canabras fell, Before her return, the only thing giving me strength to protect Defender's Heart was the hope that I'd see her again. We are in your debt. Alright, last one. The Eagle's Watch. It was a small order created to fight not only demons, but the enemy within, to maintain the purity of the paladin ranks, prevent heresy, and identify spies. And it failed miserably at that. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Anevia and I practically rebuilt it from scratch. We got rid of deadweight, people who weren't committed. We organized ways to transmit messages and orders safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. We found tacit allies around the city, from crusader orders to street beggars. It was my personal crusade to purge the city of Templars, of the Templars who infested it, and I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cultists out of Canabras, but it's hard to admit, but those successes didn't count for much when the demons entered the city. I'll say on the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Heart. The cultists would have served up the city on a platter to the demons. Yes, that's true. It's a good thing we achieved something. Thank you. Okay. Awesome, awesome. We're getting close here to getting out of here. So let's see. Who are you? A tall, athletic man greets you, his hair prematurely gray and shorn close to his head in military style. He is lean and well-groomed. A monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and large but agile frame attest that he is a man who's always ready to be on the move. Greetings, I am Helor, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. I am the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mindef. However, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I am only stuck here because of an old feud with the demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone, without the support of the Society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighter for an honest cause, talk to me. I think you can get, like, NPC fighters that have no, like, background or story. Just generic classes, I think, here. I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care right now. I've done enough reading. I'm ready to go. Let's go collect our tiefling. Hello.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I talked to Irabeth, and I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that Big Sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following? Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
I love Woljif. I love him already. Alright, I guess we'll figure out this puzzle while we're down here as well. Ugh, puzzles. Alright, where am I right now? Map. Defender's Heart Underground. Now let's get the music going again.
I will guide
Alright,
us.
so what's going on here? You have to pull them in a particular order. The first lever is right below the torch. Should be down. Hold up. Well, shit. It should be down. The second lever is on the right wall beside another torch and near the crates. That's this one. The second lever should also be down. Oh, wait, it was already down. God dang it. Okay. You can find the third and final lever on the left from the first lever. It's on a pillar. Wait. That's to the right. Is this the first lever? Hang on. Why did this not load pictures here? Hang on. So the third and final lever Blah, 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 blah. Lever should be up. So let's put this one down. I think this is the first lever. I think this is the third. I think it goes 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay. So you can find the third. Left from the first lever, yeah. It's on a pillar, showing the pick. Okay, once... Lever should be up. Once you're done with the levers, go to the torch. On the left from the third torch, you will find a shield there. Collect the shield and it will reveal a pressure plate.
Godspeed.
Oh, I had to collect this shield? What the heck? I ignored the shield because I didn't think it was worth it. Lol. Yikes. I literally didn't take the shield because I didn't think it was worth it. I was like, oh, this shield is kind of stinky, huh? What'd I get? Unable to identify helmet. God dang it.
Let us press on.
Why am I so dumb? No. I ignored part of the puzzle because I was like, oh, this shield isn't worth anything. Alright, you. Alright, so you should have identified my stuff for me. So what was that? This. Oh, nice. A bonus to charisma? It would replace my helmet if I equipped it. Oh, my characters. Nice, I have characters now. Okay, hold up. So let's do some stuff here. I do think I want the charisma, right? Which means I give that helmet probably to her. What is this? Amulet of natural armor? I already have an amulet. So let's make the tanky girl even tankier. Hell yeah. Alright, Woljif, what you got going on? So you're a dagger boy. I don't have any daggers, so you can keep those. That's fine. You have bracers of armor. That's good. You need those probably. You have a lot of scrolls equipped currently. Oh, okay, so that means he can learn. Let's go ahead and just learn everything that he can. This is the power of like wizard style characters. They can just learn spells from spell books. There we go. We just got a whole bunch of free spells for him. That's kind of pog. Let's stick some potions on him. Okay. We'll go through his stuff in a second. So we need to level up. We need to level everyone up. All right. Oh boy. We got use magic. No. Wait. What are we doing here for you? So you're my perception guy. You're very perceptive. I think you're also my mobility guy. I feel like you should be my lore nature. Who's gonna be my athletics though? Maybe he's. Hold up. Sorry. Can we... Wait. Here we go. Can I see your... Here we are. Skills. So you can be my mobility guy. Trickery, stealth. You also are good at perception. I think I need him to be knowledge as well. Okay, so here's the thing is, you have mobility. That's Pog. That means you don't need mobility. That means you need athletics. And then we can go lore, nature, perception. Deadly aim. You... I didn't already have deadly aim? What did I take here? Oh no, precise shot was very important. Yeah, I mean, we definitely take deadly aim. Just more damage. You take a minus attack roll to gain 2 bonus damage. Totally good. Very good. What is this? At 3rd level, Zen Archer gains Point Blank Master as a bonus feat, even if he does not meet the prerequisites. Okay, so I just get this no matter what. Oh, for longbows specifically. Pog. You do not provoke attacks of opportunity when firing selected weapon while threatened. Oh, okay. So that time when I attacked and I was too close to an enemy and he got smacked, that's not ever going to happen again, as long as he's using a longbow. That's cool. Okay. What else? Characters. You leveled up. Just keep doing whatever it is you're doing. I don't really know what's going on, honestly. Sure, you're very trickery. You don't need perception. I've got other people who are good at perception. I feel like you'd be... Doesn't that put you higher at lore religion than me? Whatever. I'll be honest, I don't plan on running her very far past. I'm just going to do whatever it kind of recommends here, because I don't want to think about it. I don't plan on running her as like a constant party member. Boom. You're also just a basic Paladino. Just like me, smiley face. I don't need her actually in trickery, huh? I put that other point in trickery. Let me think for a bit. I gotta get someone better than her at Knowledge World. Here's the thing is, I think I'm going to be running Woljif a lot. I really like his class. He's like Arcane Trickster. If I remember correctly, I used Woljif a lot. So Woljif is going to be my trickery guy. So she definitely does not need it. I think I actually want Persuasion on her, because I think I'm going to go I might go a similar path as my character. No, there's no way I go a similar path as my character, right? Because she's going to be using a shield. Yeah, sure, this is fine. Whatever. I'm not using her for her skills anyways. Weapon focus. What did I have before? Shield focus. Oh, she is a tanky motherfucker. I'm down. Okay, and I'm gonna take Sickened on her. Alright, so that's everyone leveled up. Cool. Let's take a look at Woljif real quick. So we have to pick his spell slots. Oops. We have to pick his spell slots. Let's take them all off first. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Spellbook. Where's Woljify? Alright, you cannot cast these spells yet, but you've learned some. Cool. Actually, what do I want? Mage Armor's definitely good. Oh wait, isn't Grease nuts? So now that I think about it, Mage Armor, it's giving me +4 AC, but it's also counteracted by his Bracelet of Armor. So he's actually only getting 2 AC. Quote-unquote counteracted. I still think it's good. Mage Armor is definitely still good. Grease is like nuts, right? Isn't Grease OP? I kind of want at least a Burning Hands, though. Some sort of damage spell. Creature in the area takes 1d4 flames of fire damage per caster level. So what is my caster level? A spell's damage effects, blah, blah, blah. Most spellcasting characteristics is equal to their character level. For multi-class characters, it's equal to the class level. Okay, what are you? You're 3 points into rogue. Okay, he's 3 points into rogue, which means arcane trickster. I'm pretty sure he's arcane trickster specifically, that type of rogue. I feel like I'm gonna keep going arcane trickster and just get more spells. I remember using him as like part stealth damage, but also like high utility. I used a lot of buffs from him. I think I had him carry haste as well. I'm trying to remember. It's been when did this game come out actually? It's been since this game came out. Anyway, we've got our party set up. I think we're ready to go. Skedaddled on out of here. Sell our last little bit of garbage. Get out of here. Anything else I want to get rid of? I don't think so. I'll hold on to that. I don't know if it's ever going to be useful, but maybe. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're ready. Just a quick once over. Actually, maybe she has another quest for us. Oh, jeez. Hey. Oh, hey, I see how they patched me up? I can, now I can run, jump, dance, and jig if I feel like it. Are there any suspicious places in the city that I should pay attention to? There were a couple spots I wanted to check out, but I didn't have time. If there's really a din of cultists there, it would be good if you swoop in and bust some heads. But you don't even need a search warrant. Oh, okay, so I'm really glad I talked to her. I almost didn't get these places on my map. That would have been awkward. First one's the Silken Thread. It's a funny little tailor shop. Doesn't take any orders and never buys any fabric. But they always seem oh so busy. They're busy with something in there, all right. But soon ain't it? Soon it ain't. Second was an alchemy shop. Topaz Solutions. They trade in everything, not just healing potions. Judging by the ingredients they've been buying on the black market, there's something fishy about alchemical rituals going down in that place. Cool. I'm sorry, I'm just so tired of reading. Okay. We'll be quick. Never mind. I don't care about your backstory at all. I do. Dude, we've been reading for so long. Okay, this is the last person for me to talk to. Oh, God, Woljif. Oh, I didn't talk to Sela either? Where's Sela even at? So technically, we could talk to Woljif. We could talk to Camellia. Where is Sela? Is she outside, I guess? Oh, hello. Oh, there's Sela. Oh. I don't think I can do more reading. Earbeth said your friend Jana Aldori is missing. Do you know where we should look for her? Earbeth is worried about her fighters. I can understand that. I just want to look for Jenna myself, so I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jay and I met at Canabras a few days ago, and we just hit it off. We went drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration too, but we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking from the main square. That's where I last saw her. Jane is a good fighter, even if she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope she's alright. What do you think of what's going on in Canabras? Oh, see, I need to talk to these people so I can get quest stuff. I'm not going to ask them about themselves. I'll save that for later. It's complete chaos. We're lucky, it's lucky we're here to handle it, right? Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem Blaze. I don't know how to say that word. My good people and our protector Terindilev died here in Canabras. A paladin of Iomade is expected to be properly respectful and solemn. But I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. It can undermine a warrior spirit. It's better if we hold off grief until we've driven out the last demon and cultist from the city. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm not bothered by how you talk. What matters is how you fight. Now you're talking sense. Well, you can trust my sword. Is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming a hero of 100 ballads? Or at least a dozen demons, if they're lively ones. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the Whirlwind is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me, but there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim, the war against the Whirlwind. That's why they can sometimes overlook the smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always liked being a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, but I'll be happy to help those who need it. Just a little bit here and there. Okay, cool. And let's do the same thing with Camilla. In case she has important quests, not tell me about yourself. Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? Or Camellia looks you over pensively, toiling with the snake-shaped amulet that dangles from her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. It seems for a moment that she wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long and slips back into cautious silence. Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? I had good teachers, though they don't get all the credit. I am a most diligent student. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Oh, my little trinket? It's so nice of you to notice, but I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? You're much more relaxed during combat. Your battle cries are uninhibited. She blushes slightly and lowers her eyes. So you've noticed? To be honest, I find it embarrassing. You see, being a shaman means having spirits of battle as my ever-present companions. In the heat of the moment, they become rather vocal. Your speech tells me you're of noble birth. You're most insightful. A fine quality to have. I will say this. Still, I believe that being of noble birth does not give anyone the right to look down on others. Is that so? Well, thank you for sharing your opinion with me. I am also a noble. I took the noble background feat, so. Okay, that's it. Cool. I don't have to talk to her anymore. Alright, one last thing. We'll go talk to Woljif. Hey, Chief, want to talk? Oh, okay, never mind. He does not have anything to say other than to learn more about him, and I'm done learning about people for now. I'm ready to leave. My tiny little brain cannot handle any more talking. Oh, wait a second. There might be more talking. This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss.
Godspeed.
What the hell? Commander, look what we've got here. Are you two mad? Whatever possessed you to steal the gem golem from the Tower of Estrad Museum? We didn't steal nothing, Commander. We saw some looters dragging it down the street and recaptured it. That shiny fellow's bringing in the treasury. Inlay alone, blah, 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 blah. Jordan, see to it that no one lays as much as a finger on this golem and pluck a single gem. Oh, God. Why are you speaking so fast? Sometimes the text dialogue stays for too long, and sometimes it goes too quickly. Kitty cat, hello, my son. Okay, let's take a quick look around. Press M. Okay. So... you have a name. Jordan Vane, a grizzled dwarf, turns a blade in his calloused hand, carefully inspecting its edge. When he sees you approaching, he sets the blade aside and greets you with a nod. A new face in the city. You picked a good time to come to Canabras. As you can see, we're in sore need of warriors. First off, show me your wares. What you got? Damage resistance 3 melee, but the wearer suffers a 3 penalty to perception check. Huh, that's interesting. This +1 leather armor. This is what? Oh, I went down. Sorry. Living ram. Whenever the wearer of this +1 breastplate uses the charge combat maneuver and hits an enemy, they deal additional 1d6 bludgeoning damage. The enemy has to pass a reflex save or become knocked prone. That's actually really good, honestly. Oh, it's very expensive. That makes sense. Attrition dagger. It's a +1 dagger. Yeah, okay. Hang on. So, damaging constitution's not that crazy. Ow, cat, please be careful with your claws, sir. +2 heavy crossbow. I don't think I can afford it, but whenever this +2 heavy crossbow lands a hit, the target must pass a fortitude saving throw or be knocked back 15 feet and become slowed down from 1 round. That's a pretty nutty. I am poor though. I don't think I'm grabbing any of this. I was just curious. Just looking around. Just perusing the goods, the goody goods. Oh, you have a lot of stuff there, bud. Oh, you have so much stuff there, bud. It's a spear. Don't care. This is tempting. It's pretty cheap. Let's grab one of those for my archer. Remember to turn it off and turn it back on. Where is it? Alright, happy to be of service. May Shellen brighten and vivify your day. What are you? I am a Prestidigitator Golem. Prestidigitator Golem. Many millennia ago, I was built by the slanting clerics of Shalen, the goddess of beauty, to make the world a better place. In my joyful service, I have visited many lands, and for the past few centuries, I have resided in the Temple of Sunrise, Christian. I don't care. But the good clerics saw fit to offer me as a gift to Mendevian Crusaders so that you could share in the beauty I create. Can you do anything useful? My creators grant me the ability to place illusions on various items. I could change their color and texture to make them more beautiful and appealing to the eye. Would you like me to cast illusion over your armor to make it green? Green is a very pleasant color. It would match your eyes. How did you end up here? I was in the Tower of Estrad Museum, but some not beautiful people came and I started smashing everything. I asked them to show restraint, and that's when they decided to steal me. After all, I am beautiful and very valuable. They dragged me down the street, but I didn't want to go with them, so I kept stopping. The least beautiful of my kidnappers threw me over his shoulder and tried to run away with me. but I am very heavy. So his back made a very not beautiful crunching sound. He started yelling, and then everyone else started yelling. Some of that yelling was directed at me, and they started hitting me with their not beautiful weapons. And then some good crusaders drove them away and brought me here. And now I have been lumbered with you. Waste of good metal you are. And instead of working, I'm supposed to keep an eye on you so no one's tempted by the walking treasure trove. What can you do to help the war effort? I was not designed for any type of combat, yet I can bring beauty and harmony to any type. I want you to cast illusion on my gear. Okay, so I can just make it look cool. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't actually care. This was not here when I played the game last, so it must be DLC stuff. Also, we didn't finish talking to you. Do you know everyone in Kunabris by sight? Well, not everyone, but I make it my business to know the people who might need my services. A blacksmith's work isn't just the anvil, you know. Are you Staunton Vane's brother? Yep, where he goes, I go. That's how I've always done it, even before the world wound. I forge the armor, he goes into battle and breaks it. He brings it back to me and I repair it and make it better than before. Everything's changed since then, of course, but that part has stayed the same. How was Staunton to blame for the fall of Dresden? I've told this story so many times already. Well, telling it one more time won't kill me. Dresden was built after the First Crusade, back when it seemed like victory was ours for the taking, and the demon invasion was soon to be an end. The population of Old Salchorus was thoroughly diminished, and many of them hoped to see their hard fighting repaid with a small plot of unclaimed land. Dresden was a fortress built on all of our hopes, and on Bendev's ambitions. Though, you're not supposed to say that out loud. What a city it was, Gellius. You can't even imagine. It was built by the finest engineers from the Five King Mountains. Queen Galfrey spared no expense. Dresden was meant to be the capital of the Crusade movement, a monument to its glory and a beacon of hope for all of Golarion. Heroes were drawn there to seek fame and glory, and they came from all over. Taldor, Galrund, Talzia, I couldn't list them all. A relic known as the Sword of Valor was kept there. The banner that had been carried into battle by Iomade herself, back when she was still human. The banner protected the city and kept demons from teleporting inside its walls. As long as the banner was in place, Dresden was invincible, or so we thought. But the world wound suddenly expanded. The demons launched a new onslaught, and folks started saying it was time to declare the Second Crusade. Dresden was unassailable until one young officer was tempted by a beautiful woman. She convinced him that the banner shouldn't be hanging in the city, that its rightful place was on the battlefield. 1 second. I'm gonna get a little sip. So much reading. She whispered honeyed words about glory and valor, and convinced him that he could be a hero as great as Iomade herself. The poor fool believed her. He rounded up some of his hot-headed friends and carried the banner outside the city gates on an unauthorized foray. The demons slaughtered them within seconds, but for some reason, the courageous ringleader was spared. The whole army teleported into Dresden. It was a bloodbath. As you can guess, that officer was named Staunton Vane, and the woman turned out to be a demon. Not just any demon, it was Minago, that foul wretch. She's given us a lot of grief here in Kunabris too. Just don't ask me what I was doing while my brother was off having trysts with the beast, and why I didn't save him from his own stupidity. Who could have guessed it would end like this? I failed my brother, and that's the truth. I blame myself every day, looking at his plight. So that's the story. Why do you have your forge here in the tavern yard? Wherever I am, that's where my forge is. A true master of any craft will always find the tools they need. I miss my old forge, of course, but it's now just a pile of charred stone and metal. I've still got my hands, and that means I can work. I'm going to show him Radiance. Do you recognize the sword? Do I recognize it? Of course I do. I made this with my own hands. There's my brand, see? Oh, Yaniel. Things have been tough without you, but at least we've still got your sword. That's something. In battle, ordinary swords get blunted, they break, but sometimes a weapon can persevere. I don't even know how to explain it. I have no authority on these things, but something like an echo of the deeds they've done. Of the deeds done with that weapon. More like a reflection of the wielder's soul. I don't know. I will say one thing. Take care of that sword. Ianiel may no longer be with us, but the demons will still remember why they need to turn tail and run when they see radiance. Ugh, the scabbard's all worn. We can't have a fine sword like this in being carried around in this tatty thing. I'll make a new one if you like. The city stands strong and we both survive. Come see me again and I'll have it ready. No charge. Torag, watch over you. If you need something from me, don't be afraid to stop by. Alright, so he's going to give us a free thing if we can survive long enough. Oh, hang on. My cat's on my lap and I was petting him while I was reading, and now there's cat hair everywhere. Oh, why do you shed so much, my son? My sweet baby boy. Alright. I think here's what we're going to do. First off, I think that's a dog. My dog, I don't think you want to go out there, bro. It's not good. It's not good out there. We'll end this episode here, and we will pick up next episode, leaving, finally, the Defender's Heart, getting out of here, and going in and starting some combat. Hopefully giving my throat a bit of a rest. Because, man, it's been 2 episodes of constant reading. Ooh, boy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We're getting ready to finally go progress the story. Have a good one. Bye-bye. See you next episode, hopefully. Or just don't come back. That would be sad. Bye-bye.